Welcome to the Nerdiverse. Go ahead, sit and listen to the masters, the old heads, talk about what you love the most. Video games, comics, movies, and everything you need to maintain your week. Got the knowledge that's straight out the ether. Gonna need a drink and have to take a seat to expand your mind and listen to the speaker. Mike and the squad's gonna give you what you need. Please send in a question, come and get some answers, learn a couple lessons from the masters with the special guests. We got the green lanterns glowing on their chest. Yes, please sit back and relax, cause we're gonna hit you with them stone cold facts. And allow me to be the very first to welcome you to the masters of the Nerdiverse. Welcome to Masters of the Nerdiverse. That is with an hard I in the middle of that nerdy verdi. You can always find this nuclear holocaust of a podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and the Google Plays, if you so desire. I'm, of course, your host, Mike G. And with me, as always, is my crazy co-host,
Winter Sturdivant. This is InfoWars. How's it going?
InfoWars, man, where knowledge is power.
Yes.
Knowledge will punch you in the throat.
The globalists are trying to take over. I'm trying
globalists.
to clear my throat. There we go. I'm back.
Okay, I want to hear that voice again, though. Say something else.
This is I can't do it now. Too much pressure.
Oh, no. You sound like Jesse the Body Ventura, dog.
Oh, yeah. I'm going off the grid.
I'm off the grid.
There's a video of Jesse Ventura back when Colin Kaepernick was doing his you know what, we'll just say. We don't want to alienate. Yes, we don't want a civil war on our hands in the Nerdiverse.
No. Only a Captain America civil war is allowed here.
Yeah. But there's a clip of Jesse Ventura talking about it, and it's like they paid him to do this, and it's like a white background, and it's just him sitting there like, Colin Kaepernick is doing the American thing. I fought in Vietnam for that, right? You know what this sounds like? I'm losing the voice. Nazi Germany.
I was a Navy SEAL. In my book, Kaepernick's a Navy SEAL. What? Okay, as long as you're for the struggle.
Yes, but when are you gonna fight Hulk Hogan again for the title?
We're meeting at WrestleMania 37, but we're on WrestleMania 50. 37.
Right?
It's like, okay.
Yeah, I would see that.
Man.
I mean, they have The Undertaker coming back every year, and he's pretty much his knees are just shot right now. I wanted to say something mean. Right yeah.
His knees are. He's pretty much one of those floating heads in a jar, like in Futurama right now, man. It's just finished, man. Why do they keep bailing him out? Let the Undertaker chill, man.
He's like one of the legends of wrestling that have not been caught with steroids, have not been caught with sexual assault, have not been caught with murder, and he can still
Isn't that funny, though?
Yeah, he can still move around. Like they still wheel out Ric Flair, and
Ric Flair is a walking problem, man.
Yeah.
It's like out of everybody, Undertaker's the cleanest bell. Like you've never heard of him like hitting anyone or
right,
like blading or drugs or steroids. And he doesn't really talk a lot. He's not into any weird politics. He's just
not like Kane.
Be me, man. Kane. Isn't he the governor of Chicago or something crazy like that?
No, he's
Minnesota.
No, that's Ventura, who was the governor of Minnesota before they kicked me out.
Because I was too real.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Freaking Kane. He dropped a promo and won, like, the election. A clean promo, dog. Oh, man. That's what I want. I want a fighting game where it's just wrestlers who've had political backgrounds. And they're, like, in their suits and shit. And, like, Arnold Schwarzenegger is, like, the last boss. You know what I mean? Remember that time when RoboCop was on WCW?
No, I
It
don't.
was
I'm not that old.
not a guy dressed. No, not a guy dressed like RoboCop, but RoboCop himself. I think he punched Psycho Sid in the chest real hard. He flew back. It was ultra dumb.
I got into pro wrestling when they were trying to go back to the like we have attitude sort of thing. So they had like strip poker on an episode, or like they had Edge sleeping with his wife in the ring.
Yeah,
The episode.
it's so stupid.
I'm like, I'm a little kid. I don't know what's going on. Oh, here's Matt Hardy. Hopefully he doesn't get another drug bust.
Remember when Eddie Guerrero did a ladder match for the custody of his child?
Yeah.
It was real awkward, dude.
Oh, I remember like when he died, there was like an episode of sadness, and then his wife like connected the murder, like his death, into like a storyline for the whole thing. So she's like,
yeah, Vicky Guerrero was like a plague on the WWE, man. Chavo was cool though. I like Chavo Guerrero. Chavo was what's up. He was a class act, man.
Chavo's the cool uncle.
He's the cool uncle that lets you take a sip of beer when nobody's looking.
So you still haven't asked me how was my week? where
I was just about to roll into like other than reminiscing about wrestling. Yes. How was your week, Winter? What you been up to, man?
Oh well, I've been rewatching a little series called Arrested Development. May 29th, season 5 comes out.
Nice.
Yes, and they're standing by Jeffrey Tambor, who's a part of the series, and perhaps some of our listeners know that he's been accused of sexual assault or stuff like that. And Arrested Development is the only show that I know of that has taken him back and is the only show that like here's someone that's been accused and they go like, we're supporting him 100%.
Yeah, because he was kicked off that one show where he was it was called Transparent, right? They kicked him off of that show because of the accusations, but wasn't it something like the accusations proved to be false or something? That's why
I don't know yet.
Like, yeah, I thought it was something like that. That's why Arrested Development was so cool to bring him back. They were just like,
well, that's the problem with our media. We don't know. We never hear about the end of the story. We only hear about the beginning part of the accusations.
Yeah, man. You know, it's a 24-hour news cycle. So once people stop caring, the truth doesn't matter anymore.
So on that high note, I think what I'm going to call this next part of my how was my week rant is Cage the Nicholas segment.
Cage. Nicholas Uncaged.
Yeah. So I've noticed that there's about 8 or 12 Nicolas Cage movies out on Netflix, and I've only heard about 2 of them. So I'm going to try to go through each one and see what I think about it. And this first one that I watched called Rage, you don't need to see
Rage
it.
Cage. You don't need to see that one, man.
Yeah, it's like
that's comedy.
There's like a couple of scenes that are cool, but there's like moments where I don't understand what's going on. Like they could have. So there's a Irish gang boss in here, and I'm like, oh, well, they're gonna hire an Irishman to do it. But no, they hire Peter Stormare.
I love him, dude.
A Swedish actor.
Yeah.
To play.
Peter Stormare is super dumb.
Yeah,
dude.
to play an Irishman. And he just does like your most racist Irish voice you can think of.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
So, and it's like there's just, you don't need to see it. Particularly when there's other movies out. Like, I also watched Heat on the same day.
Ooh, that's so good.
Yeah. And it's like I also read the articles now that Al Pacino has come out saying that Heat, his character in Heat was high on cocaine, was a coke fiend. Did you?
Yeah.
And that's
I super could see that.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Like, do you think I'm
because he was real sporadic in that movie, man. He was like, your wife has a sweet ass. Like, what? And everybody just looks at him and he just stops. It's so awkward, dude. Oh, man. If it's okay, may I recommend the next Nicolas Cage movie that you watch?
Yes.
And I think it's still on Netflix. Have you ever seen Lord of War?
Yes, I've seen that. That's the one where he's supposedly a Russian arms dealer with Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke and Jared Leto, man. Yeah. It's like my favorite Nicolas Cage movie.
Oh, please.
And that's saying something.
What about Face Off?
Face Off's too real, man. Face Off. I can't. Face Off.
It's John Woo.
Face Off is what you put on to hold people hostage, man. Like, oh man, why is Face Off playing in the backdrop of this party? Don't ask questions. Just let Face Off rock. It's like, can we change the channel? No.
I'm just a sucker for John Woo. I did a whole report on him for college, so that was great.
Remember in Face Off where they were in jail and had the magnetized boots?
Right. Well, just a little bit of the John Woo thing. I showed clips of the first Mission Impossible where it's like very comparatively slow action, I would call it. Like, it's still like explosions going on and everything, but it's not over the top. Like the edge of your seats part is like the helicopter blades going to Tom Cruise's neck. Then you cut to, and then I would cut to a scene from Mission Impossible 2 where it's like somehow they defy physics and motorcycles and they jump off and they're shooting at each other. And and I just love like John Woo.
Man, I love old school John Woo, like with Chow Yun-fat, Hard Boiled, and A Better Tomorrow, Tequila, those are so good. Where it's like high speed shotgun action.
Right.
Doesn't make any sense. It's like a shotgun, but it's like set to a semi-automatic like fire rate. It's just really nuts. Some blood everywhere. Well, so sick.
Part of this presentation that I did, I showed the clip of I think it's Hard Boiled, where they have the whole like shootout scene in the hospital.
Yeah.
And I like, okay, I'm going to show you this whole thing in its entirety because it's one shot. The whole thing, it doesn't break to somewhere else. It's the camera following them.
Sick editing, man.
Right. Well, like there's no editing. It was just all like
one shot.
Yeah, one shot man work where it's like they're blowing up everything, and then they go into the elevator, and then and while I was telling this, I read somewhere that when they closed the doors, that was when the people on set replaced everything in the room, sort of thing. So it looked like they went up another level, and they went up level in the elevator. So then they went in, everything was destroyed, the doors open up, and then everything's back to normal. They just keep going.
Sick, man. They don't do stuff like that anymore. CG has ruined like technical marvels like that, where they did the Old Boy shot before Old Boy did it.
Right.
You know what I mean? That never ending shot. It's just so sick. Like Children of Men is one of my favorite like nonstop, no edit moments. The car scene, the car hijack scene is Children of Men. It's so superb, man. It's just the cinematography and how it was shot. And it's all one single shot. It's just the best. Check out Children of Men if you don't know what I'm talking about.
Clive Owen or your budget Gerard Butler. So
sometimes it can go either way, though. Sometimes Gerard Butler is a budget Clive Owen.
That is true. That is true.
Depending on what time of year it is, they flip flop.
So I also saw the movie. Speaking of Clive Owen, I also saw the movie Anon.
Okay.
On Netflix.
What's that?
It's the original Netflix movie where Clive Owen is a detective in a world where there is no more privacy, because everyone. Ooh. It's like they took an idea from Black Mirror really and made it to this, to where it's like people have computers in their brain. So it's like, all right, let me see the footage of what I just saw 30 seconds ago. And they can just rewind all that stuff. And then there's people who know how to hack and make themselves invisible or make you see things that make you, it's very cool. It's a cool concept.
I have to watch that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes me uncomfortable. Like, I try watching Black Mirror episodes, and they get way too real, man. Yeah. Like, I just can't.
And he has to. Yeah, he has to go undercover in the movie, and this is where I would have an issue. His undercover play. I don't want to spoil it, but it's like, I don't think cops can do that. It's kind of like how cops get hookers, we'll say, in trouble.
Is it an immersion breaker? Did it take you out the movie?
Not really. It's more like you just go, well, in the future, cops can get away with a much more.
Yeah, man. Oh yeah, whatever they want. Patriot Act. You know.
Yes. Well, Patriot Act is now just.
No, I know it's like Patriot Act 2.0 or 3.0. It's like, we just see everything you do, every moment of your life. We have recorded somewhere, whether you wanted to or not. Awesome.
I also saw the Netflix movie, The Outsider, with Jared Leto.
Can we talk about that? Because I watched that too.
Yes,
I want to know what you
about it.
What you thought about that? Yeah.
So I read online that this movie stunk. It's like, don't even see it sort of thing. And I think they were too critical of the movie.
Same here.
Yeah, I think it was a great movie. I think they mistook, like, the director trying to portray what it would be like in the Yakuza as it being boring, or it's like it's too rigid. It's like, well, it's the Yakuza. They have all these traditions that go with also being thugs and criminals.
Right. It's a business.
Yes. I think it could have had a little bit more action points or like it definitely could have gone another 40 minutes, I think, for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It ended kind of abruptly to me.
Right. Well, it's like I wanted to hear more about his background. Like you have a spoiler alert. You have one of his like buddies come back, and like he's kind of hinting at you might be court-martialed if they knew where you were still here. I'm like, what did that mean? We don't know.
Yeah, because spoilers, he just kills the guy.
Yeah.
He just like the one guy he's like Jerry. He's like, what? Jerry Joe Jams. It's me. It's Buddy. We were stationed in Fort Bragg. He's like, shut up. Like, please just go away. He's like, nah, man, we got to talk. We got to hang out. And he's just like, ooh, all right, let me take you somewhere in a corner. Like, I think people who came into this movie thinking it was an action movie came into it wrong because it's a drama.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a drama. It's not like it has action scenes that are okay. It's not John Woo that like we were just talking about.
Well, it's a gangster film. I would put
it's a gangster film, but it's also like you said, it's rigid because it's the Yakuza in 1950s Japan.
Right.
You can't get more rigid than that. You know what I mean? They're not playing. You know, and Jared Leto, you can roll your eyes that he's the magical gaijin that comes and saves the day, or is the one that's accepted, or whatever.
Well, but they play storyline
pretty straight.
Outsider.
Right. Exactly, right? So I know people get tired of that trope of the, Anglo-Saxon male coming to save this foreign land from its troubles or whatever. But Jared plays it pretty straight.
Right.
Like he doesn't go over the top. I mean, it's very subdued. So I think people can construe that for it being boring. But no, I was really intrigued with the families and the people he was connecting to, the women he was connecting to, and just kind of like that Yakuza life where it was like, yeah, I messed up. Give me that hand.
Right.
You know what I mean? Without question. Don't scream. Don't cry. Just thank you. You've paid your debt. Now get out of here.
Right.
I liked it. Like I thought it was a slow burn, but I think people give it a way harder break than it really deserves.
Right, like I would put the slow burn up there with like The Godfather. I wouldn't put the movie up there with The Godfather, but I would say it has the same like slow like this is how this particular gang works. Yeah, and then there's like massive violence for like 30 seconds, and then it kind of backs off, and
then it slows down.
Yeah. Have you watched The Godfather yet? That was that was part of your homework, I believe.
No, man. To go into my week, I watched Batman Ninja, which I will talk about later. I'm going to review it sometime this week. But because that movie needs to be talked about in length because it's so wacky, it's so nuts.
What movie was
That's all I'll say on it. Right. Batman Ninja. Oh, it's a Japanese anime.
Right, we covered that. Yeah,
where Batman is whisked away to feudal Japan along with everyone in Arkham Asylum. That's all I'm going to say right now because I'm definitely going to cover it in the review. Mm-hmm. But man, this thing is nuts, man. Like it's not even. I can't say it's not Batman because it's such a love letter to Batman. But wow, they let these Japanese directors do whatever the hell they wanted with the characters, man. It's kind of nuts. But if you want my knee-jerk reaction, rent it, don't buy it. That's real quick.
Ooh.
One movie I will talk about at length because I don't care about it is I watched Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson vehicle Baywatch this week.
Oh no.
Because it was on Amazon and it was free. And I was curious. So I watched this regurgitated miso soup of a movie. That means it's bland and it's gross. And it's one of those movies where they let the soundtrack tell you how to feel. It's very Zack Snyder in that way, where it's like, if you see like The Rock like running, it's like, it starts playing like Rolling by like Limp Bizkit. It's like, I get it. I see him running. You don't need to tell me in song form that he's running.
Yeah.
And it remember, did you ever see an old school like 90s movie called Summer School?
No.
Where these wacky kids were bad and they all got stuck in summer school and wackiness ensues. This movie reminds me of a bad 90s beach movie.
Ouch.
Because, like they tried to bring it back. Because back in the day in the 50s, they had movies like Beach Blanket Bingo and like those 50s surfer movies. And then in the 90s, they had these fun spring break kind of bad, like over-sexualized, over-masculine, like just garbage. And this movie, I can't say it didn't make me chuckle a couple of times, but it's just so bad. It has Zac Efron in it, who actually is the only shining spark of this entire movie, funny enough, because the guy actually has acting subtlety sometimes, but everything else is so cookie cutter, man. It's like you got the girls in tight Baywatch uniforms or whatever running down the beach, of course, and it's just such a pain in the ass to watch. It's like, ugh, hated it.
Like, were you expecting something else?
I wasn't expecting King Lear, man. I'm not expecting Hello, but I'm expecting a coherent comedy that's based off the source material, which it kind of pokes fun at the source material in all the wrong ways.
Yeah, well, it seems like Baywatch was good in the first place. That's what I don't get. It's like, I think people are having like rose-colored glasses with nostalgic TV shows. You know what I mean? Like, I tried to watch an episode of Baywatch, and I'm like, oh, this is just like a soap opera with big boobed women. And
pretty much, yeah.
So soap opera. And
damn, straight up.
And it was not appealing to me. I don't go for movies like for that. And it's also a red flag that it's a free Prime movie. Because Amazon Prime is like the internet's $5 bin at Walmart.
I love it because Amazon Prime bails me out when I need stuff to talk about for the show. Like, okay, what horrible movie is on here now?
Like they'll have some good ones every now and then, like Riot on Cell Block.
Every once in a while,
69 or whatever it's called.
Nice.
Or like they'll have like the Americans at the TV show on there. But
right.
yeah, I don't know. I'm canceling my Prime. It's going up again.
I use Prime a lot. I use it for Amazon Fresh, and I buy stuff on it, so I'll stick with it until they just get crazy with it. Don't watch Baywatch.
They're going to increase it to $120, I believe, a year.
They're really making it hard to stick around. Right. They better have the drones out if that's the case. I want my stuff flown in by drones like they promised me. Bastards. The only other thing I did this weekend was I played Rayman Legends on the PS4 because it was free for PSN this month.
Okay.
And it's very colorful, and it reminds me of like Abe's Odyssey, which is good way back in the day. But then comes the microtransactions, and I'm just like, why must everything be bottled down with loot boxes and microtransactions and open this and unlock this? Can I just play the game? That's what I loved about God of War. It's just that it cut all that crap out. Yeah. Just play the game. Everything you need is in the game. You don't need to unlock or have that weird loot box tie that's to every single game now. It's free, so if you have PlayStation Plus, so play it. If you like platformers, if you like colorful games that look great in HD when it's flattened on like a flat 2D plane, it's a beautiful game. Beautiful game. Oh man, you ready to get into some news?
Let's go to the news.
That news. Do, 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 do. That's when you get real. That's when you get the G chord on the bass. You got to get the high pitched whine, Doug. Oh man, wacky news this week that I really want to talk about. So, real quick, there was a giant E3 leak that happened. Like not Amazon. I'm sorry. Walmart Canada released a list.
Gotta love Walmart.
Of pretty much everything that's going to be at E3 this year. That's going to be announced. They just dropped this crazy list. Gotta love Walmart. They just said screw E3. And one of the games that's on there that was the most wackiest that people thought was like, man, this list is not real because there's no, why would they make this game? Was Rage 2. And for those who are like, what's Rage? I don't remember that game. It was this Bethesda vehicle almost 5 years ago that came out on the id Software platform. And it was pretty much a game about post-apocalyptic boomerang throwing. It was an okay game. I played it. It was kind of milquetoast. It was fine, right? It was just okay. I played it and beat it. But now Rage 2 was announced early because Bethesda scrambled and had to get in front of this. So they released a live action teaser trailer that was all colorful and pinks and blues and cotton candy colored mayhem. And they were saying, oh, okay, fine. But then they released a gameplay trailer and the crowd goes mild. It just was like, okay, cars. Looks like there's a battle royale version of it. Of course there is. I hate freaking. It's PUBG's fault. You know what I'm saying? They created this monster, and now we're all tied.
Now it's not PUBG's fault. It's the guy who made the mod that then became PUBG.
Bastard. He created a monster, and now all our games are like tied into it. Like if Red Dead Redemption gets a battle royale mode, which it will. I would love it. A Western battle royale on horseback. Okay, it sounds cool. Damn it! I don't want to like it.
Don't be an angry old man. Okay.
I hate change. Damn it! But Rage 2, it looks dumb. I'm probably not going to get it because here's the thing: if Borderlands 3 is announced, which was also I think on that list. Then screw Rage. I'm buying Borderlands 3 all day. But if Borderlands 3 is vaporware and it's just not coming out this year or next year, then I'll get Rage 2 for $20. Just buy it. I'm not going to buy it first day. But the graphics look great, of course. Gameplay looks okay. We'll see. You know, it's one of those we'll see. And of course, by E3, which is in a month, I cannot wait. There's going to be more info on it. Absolutely. Speaking of E3, PlayStation also decided to jump the gun and say pretty much what their conference was going to be this year. And they've decided that rather than doing a showcase of multiple games and kind of spreading everything out, they're going to showcase 4 games heavy that they're going to showcase. And those 4 games are, and I'm very excited for this list.
Knack 3. Okay.
Knack 3. Prey 2. Even though Prey 2 is going to be dope.
Sega Brawl, or whatever that
Sonic Spinball 3. That's what they're going to announce. One is Insomniac Spider-Man, which it looks really, really good. That's the game that's made by the Sucker Punch guys, the guys who did Infamous. This is their latest game since then. And I love me some Infamous. I have all those games, even the downloadable content, which wasn't all that great. I'm looking at you, First Light. But the game looks solid. I want to play as Spoder-Man. I want to fight the Hobgoblin. He better be in that damn game. Give me some Hobgoblin, guys. He's orange and blue. It's really good colors. The other game is Death Stranding, which is the next Hideo Kojima game, which we have no idea what that game is. There has been no gameplay shown, and it's a mystery. All we've seen is cutscenes, and the last one they were shown was like 2 years ago. So who knows what this game is? So that seeing 20 minutes of gameplay footage of that is exciting all by itself. Because I love me some Hideo Kojima. I didn't grow up with Metal Gear, but I learned to appreciate it later in life. I started as Snake Eater, played all the way through. I didn't play Metal Gear 5, but
yeah, I'm getting skeptical with Death Stranding. We'll just...
It's too crazy. I just don't know what to make of it. You know, I just want to see what it is.
Icarus is flying too close to the sun, or he could have been like given. Or I'm just saying that this happens to a lot of people, to where you've had restraint, you had like all these pressures on you, to where you had like your creativity was bottled up. To where you can only put a little bit in, which is good, into your project. And, but now that there's no longer those parameters, and you've now can freely move about the way that you want to, it can sometimes hurt you, Kojima.
Yeah, here's the thing. About Hideo Kojima specifically, this is a guy who created games like Zone of the Enders, which is such a creative game. The Zone of the Enders series is nuts. And then Konami delegated him to, you're making Metal Gear games forever. And he was like, I'm over Metal Gear. I have other ideas I want to do. They're like, no, hold that and make Metal Gear forever until we're done with you. Now that the reins are off and he has infinite money from Sony.
Exactly.
And I'm hoping there's a creative, and Guillermo del Toro is working on this game with him. So it's those two brains coming together, these guys who created PT, which is arguably one of the scariest games of all time, even though the game itself is like 10 minutes. It's so nuts. Right. So between Sony, the PlayStation division, the rest of the divisions are garbage, but between Sony, PlayStation division, Hideo Kojima himself, Guillermo del Toro, and all the creative people around him, hopefully they can fine-tune his craziness into a decent game. Because like you said, I definitely agree. Sometimes unbridled creativity is madness. Look at Peter Molyneux, with Fables and I'm going to change the world. And the guy who makes all those horrible games at Quantic Dream, I forget his name at the moment, where he just says whatever, this game is going to change humanity. It's like, no, it's a shitty game. People are just obsessed with it because the graphics are great. Don't get me started on Quantic Dream. But,
or like just comparing it to like a director to where Scorsese, he comes out with he'll do a movie and he'll do Shutter Island. And then he did his passion project, Silence.
Right. Beautiful movie.
Yeah, and Silence had no one. Oh, well, that defeats what I said originally about Kojima. All right.
That's fine.
Right. Yeah.
Moving on. One of the other games that is going to be shown is The Last of Us 2. which
Yes.
everyone's clamoring to see gameplay for, because that's one of the hallmarks of the PlayStation 3. It's actually probably the best game on that system, based on its story and its gameplay and its graphics, and people are just like, what is the gameplay? Like, what is this game? Because all we've seen so far are CGI videos, and it's just like, bring it on. I didn't beat Last of Us because it's such a heavy game. I watched the Let's Play of it and got the whole story, so I'm probably going to end up trying to play it again before it comes out.
Right.
But it's a beautiful game, and that first trailer hooked me. That first trailer where Ellie's playing the guitar, and it's like she's kind of nuts at this point, living in this world and growing up in this world. So I'm kind of curious to see what they do with that character and have these be the boogeymen, have them be the bad guys told from their point of view, because I think that's what they're going to do. Is they're the boogeymen of this world, and they're just going after the good guys because they have some kind of vendetta against them. Something happened. So Last of Us 2 is going to be shown in detail. Excited for that. And the last game that's going to be shown is totally a mystery to me. It's called Ghost of Tsushima. And that's the one that's actually made by Sucker Punch. I mixed it up earlier. Insomniac Games is making Spider-Man. Sucker Punch is making Ghost of Tsushima. And we've only gotten one trailer for it. And it looks like a feudal Japan. It looks cool, right? It's a feudal Japan. Almost reminds me of like Vietnam. You know what I mean? Like, it's very dark and it's like humid. The game feels humid.
That could be just you. I don't lump all Asian people in the same group.
Hello. Michael's racist, I guess.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. But no, I just like every movie I've seen that has to do with Vietnam is like heavy as shit. Like Jacob's Ladder, Apocalypse Now. It's just like, damn. Like, hi.
What, you mean there's no lighthearted war movies? Well, there are. There's MASH. There's Stripes. No, Hello Vietnam. Okay.
There's Major
Good Morning
Pain.
Vietnam. Yeah.
Good Morning Vietnam. Tropic Thunder. Jeez.
Yeah. By the way, is there like something that's going on with Major Pain right now? I've seen clips of it on my Facebook. Like, someone like had a clip of Major Pain, and I'm like, and then I remember reading something about it recently. I don't recall.
Man, they're making a Major Pain too, though. That'd be dope, dude.
With original cast.
With the original cast of the kids all grown up and they're all like in the military and shit. And one of them's a washout. Man, remember when he was doing the robot in the club? He was killing it. Stephen Wayne's is an idiot. All right. New news.
All right.
Did you check out that Predator trailer? Or The Predator?
I looked at photos of it.
That's all you need.
Yeah. I liked how you worded this. The Predator trailer brings back the iconic aliens, or I guess that's how the website titled it. The article.
The article is dumb, but I saw one person tweet it's like funny enough that the predators are aliens and the aliens are technically predators. You know what I mean? It's like, it's all one giant circle jerk. But Shane Black, the guy who directed the first one, is directing this one. And apparently it takes place in the future of Aliens 2, but doesn't count any of the Alien versus Predator crap.
Whoa. Aliens 2?
Aliens? Oh, I'm sorry. It takes place it takes place in the future of Predator 2. I'm sorry, Predator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was my mistake. But doesn't count any of the Alien Predator stuff. So it's pretty much after Danny Glover. Oh, my brain is dying. Pretty much said, "Oh, they'll be back. This is when they come back, I guess." And from the trailer, it looks like it says a lot about the movie I wish I didn't know. Like, I want to be surprised, so I'm just. Okay. This is officially on media blackout till I watch it because I have to go see a Predator movie. I can't not see it. But this is the movie that Arnold dropped out of because he was mad because he wasn't getting enough like screen time.
Well, he needs to spend time with his son. Thank you very much.
Which one?
Well played.
The one that lives in Pasadena in a one story.
The one that's house. Conan.
Or the one that lives
in the photo.
The one that lives with him, or the
No,
one
there's
that doesn't.
the one that there was a picture that his mom dressed him as Conan for Halloween.
How tacky is that, dude? And then
Uh,
you send it to Arnold. Please give us money. What the fuck? That's so rough, dude. Whatever it takes, man.
Right.
Whatever you got to do. Rick and Morty got renewed, as well as Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Very, very happy for these two series because they have a huge cult following.
Well, not just renewed for Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's going to a different channel.
Yes, it's
NBC.
going to CBS. NBC.
CBS is for old people. It's never going to.
Hey, CBS at the price is right. And that will always be hold a space in my heart. But yeah, Brooklyn Nine-Nine was flat out canceled. Fox pulled a Fox and canceled all their best shows. As they're apropos to do. We all know this happens. But the internet screamed so hard and so loud for a few days that CBS said, you know what, we'll take it up. My only fear is that on CBS, will it change? Or NBC, I'm sorry. I keep saying CBS. On NBC, will it change the writing? Or anything change? Will they change the formula? You know what I mean? Because I hope they don't make it too cookie
Or they
cutter,
could switch it up,
to
where it's like they could make fun of how they're switching stations and going to a different one. Like, we're in a different precinct now.
Oh, trust me, they're going to do some non sequitur about that. I totally.
What's the difference between the two? Nothing at all, but a bigger budget. I don't know, something like that.
And they look dead in the camera. That's when you just eyeball the camera. Now, speaking of shows that were renewed, I want to talk about one show that wasn't renewed. And I know it's a show where you were following, so I kind of wanted your 2 cents on it, or 25 cents rather. It's that Sci-Fi is canceling The Expanse after 3 seasons.
Yeah, not surprised.
Not surprised, huh?
Yeah, it's a good show, but the Sci-Fi Channel has an issue with keeping good shows. It's like, we can add another Sharknado
right
in the section. Yeah,
but we're going to cancel, Too Human.
Too Human was good. I was thinking of Being Human, I think.
Being Human, thank you. I was thinking about the... Yeah.
That's the one where the vampire and the werewolf live in a house with a ghost, right?
Yeah, it's super dumb. I love it.
And they smash. Okay.
And everybody smashes, dog. Everybody smashes everybody. It's real awkward for the first 2 weeks for all the fur and blood everywhere. And ectoplasm.
And I just looked this up too. Fox also canceled the Exorcist TV show.
Oh, that was so good.
I know.
The Exorcist show was so good, dude. What's wrong with Fox? Why do they do this every time?
Not only will they keep the Lethal Weapon TV show, they'll
let's talk about that, dude.
Yeah.
You got me started. So, okay, they're going to cancel Brooklyn Nine-Nine, right? They're going to cancel The Exorcist, but they're going to fight tooth and nail and add Sean William Scott, of all people, to play Riggs and replace the guy.
Well, he's going to play a different character, apparally. It's not going to be Riggs. It's going to be someone similar.
What?
Riggs 2.
How do you have Riggs the sequel? How do you have Lethal Weapon without Riggs and Murtaugh? What's the point at that point? What? That's like having Thelma and Louise, but not Louise. Right?
Yeah.
This is Tango and Money. Cash got fired. Fuck out of here, man. That makes me so mad. That's so garbage. Fox is so short-sighted. But this is cool because these shows find homes. The good ones always find homes.
That's true. Arrested Development.
Netflix. Right. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. NBC. Yeah. I mean, only one, and it wasn't always like that. I think if Firefly, sorry. I need food. Haven't eaten all day. Firefly, I think if it came out now, it got canceled now, man, people would find a place for it.
Yeah, it would go to Sci-Fi.
They would find a home somewhere. Right. Yeah. I think it would be really good on like Showtime.
Showtime would be good.
It needs a bigger budget. You know what I mean? I love Firefly. It's so good.
Yeah, like we need to cancel this show so that we can make a room for another Kevin James series.
No, another Seth MacFarlane vehicle.
Yeah.
Get out of here, man. Oh, man. Speaking of horrible vehicles, this is the news article of the week, and it's the most horrible, irritating thing I've read all month.
Well, I didn't know you didn't like the North Koreans releasing those people. That was the news line of the week. I don't know what's your problem.
What a way to sandbag my news article. Why could I follow that?
But
I'm happy for the released people from North Korea. I hope they have fruitful and long-lived lives. Yeah. What?
Please listen to the show.
Please listen to this podcast. Don't stop listening. So they're making a Monster Hunter movie, right? And I've been talking about Monster Hunter a lot over this year because I've just loved the game since it's come out. And yes, I am a Monster Hunter noob. I haven't been playing since Freedom or any bullshit like that. I just like the game that's played on the PS4. And I'm probably going to replay the old ones in my due time. But they're making a movie directed by Paul Anderson.
Ooh.
I always mix those up. The guy who directed Resident Evil. And of course, the movie is starring Mila Jovovich, his wife. Because they're a package deal.
Uh-huh.
So she is going to play something in a Monster Hunter game that takes place in modern times. Like in New York and shit. Okay, I'm sorry. This is what happens when people don't respect video games.
Yeah.
Right? Like, this is like Super Mario Bros. The old school movie that's hated by all. What's the cheap thing to do? Use existing sets. We're not going to build out the Mushroom Kingdom. That'll cost millions, right? So let's just make it look like a crappy city and call it Mushroom Kingdom and just say this is a different retelling of the story. If Monster Hunter was directed by Peter Jackson, they would be in New Zealand and Weta would be creating Rathaloses and
we're going to make it 3 movies.
It'll be amazing.
Yeah.
And we're going to make it 3 movies. We're going to make it, and the third one's going to be cut in half. But it at least would look like the game, right? The easiest way to make a video game movie is to make it look like the game.
Yeah.
Easy, right? Like, okay, I'm not a big fan of the Resident Evil films, and yes, I will admit they made tons of money. I think altogether they made like $1 billion.
Just took 7 movies.
Owns the rights to that. It just took 7 movies. But I'm so tired of these movies being different things, but having the name slapped on it. You know what I mean? Like, this is not going to have anything to do with Monster Hunter. It's going to show Rathalos, probably, because that's the flagship monster. And Mila Jovovich is going to have some kind of stupid shit where she has Rathalos DNA. And she's going to be the fastest and the strongest, and she's going to be able to talk to all the dinosaurs or whatever. And she's going to be the best and strongest in the Mary Sue. She's not going to be afraid of anything, afeared of nothing.
Yeah, might as well do a crossover with Resident Evil at that point.
You might just have Alice go there.
Yeah.
At the end of Resident Evil Aftermath, or whatever it's called, she's driving from Resident Evil into Monster Hunter.
Yep.
It's going to be the dumbest shit ever. And it's like,
have a White Rabbit playing in the background because it has the name Alice in the lyrics. That's how directors and editors think, by the way. Really tacky ones.
And it's going to be a real tacky remix where it's all dubstep and shit. And she's going to be on the back of it. And she's going to be on the back of a freaking, Anjanath. And she's going to have her great sword, and it's going to play some weird dubstep version of We Are the World. And it's going to be garbage as shit. And it's going to be a bad movie. And it's like, it took comic book movies like 2 decades for people to start taking this stuff seriously. So just do what the book tells you to do.
Right.
And adjust the things to tell an interesting story. You don't set Gotham City in Arizona, right? Like, it won't make sense. You don't have Superman be born in, like, unless you're doing Red Sun in, like, Soviet Union, Russia. Like, just make the movie look like the game. Or don't do it at all. Like, why is this so hard to wrap your, like, why? are these things even greenlit if it's not for the fans of the thing it's called after the thing? I get so mad about this because it's like, it's the simplest thing.
Well, old man Mike G is time for his nap.
What my damn Metamucil? It's just the easiest. Don't call it Monster Hunter then. Call it call it Jovovich and jump in a romper. Jovovich rompers.
Yeah.
And have her running around with guns and shit. She's probably going to be semi-automatics.
Resident Evil 9 Monster Hunter.
I mean, why do the thing if it's not going to look like the thing? It's the easiest thing in the world. That's like Dark Souls taking place in like, I don't know. It's like, I get it. This guy makes money, right?
Yeah.
It's Capcom. Capcom's like, we can trust this guy. He's made 7 movies with us and made our franchise successful. Resident Evils 5 through 6 were made pretty good money. But you got to care about the name you're slapping onto this stuff because it's important to the people that made it popular. That's the news, man. That's it. I'm disgusted. I'm upset, and I want a scone, a chocolate chip scone. Oh, you ready to answer some quick questions, my good friend? You got it there, sir. If you want to ask us a question or yell at me for being old and screaming at the moon, old man yells at sun. You can send those questions to mastersofthenerdiversecast@gmail.com. That is mastersofthenerdiversecast@gmail.com. First question. Real simple question that I think is not really pertaining to the Nerdiverse, but how do you grow up as a human being and not be jerks to other people? What's the secret to not be an asshole?
The secret is to take it easy. And
that is the simplest and best answer. Just relax, man.
Yeah. I feel that has been a life goal for me. Not just wear Hawaiian shirts and shorts for the rest of my life, and except for Sundays, and then right. Yeah, and have it's really hard for you to take the steps to change it. It really depends on the people who mold you into what you are. So right. I would encourage parents to develop your children's critical thinking skills at an early age.
Yes. It's what we used to call home training when I was a kid. My mom would say, look, you see that kid splashing in the water fountain like an ass and his mom is just sitting there watching him? That kid has no home training. You get home training helps you not be an asshole because you're not an entitled shit that thinks that the world revolves around them. There's other people around you in this circle we call life. Like Winter said, just relax, man. Don't be, if someone says something you don't agree with, argue your point without being a bitch. Okay, next question. Easy. Growing up, what was your favorite video game console accessory? Which one that sticks out to your mind?
I liked getting controllers. I liked getting Mad Cat controllers. If you remember those, yeah, they always seemed cheaper than buying a normal controller to me. Or like I would buy, like when I had a PlayStation 2, the controllers would always like get dirty or broken or stuff, so that I would go get another controller, and then it would always catch my eye to get it would always be like a see-through, like the clear plastic controller that was a little, little chunkier around the edges. Mm-hmm. And it was like, this is perfect for my big hands. But the problem was those would die a lot quicker. So
They were pieces of crap. Yeah,
but they were like
cheap.
$15, so I could afford it.
Exactly. So I had one too. Trust and believe.
Yeah.
Oh man, the one that comes to mind, speaking of controllers, was the GameCube Wavebird. It was one of the very first wireless controllers, and it just felt good. Like I have big hands too, right? And I couldn't really use the GameCube controller to play like Metroid Prime or Soul Calibur for that matter. So I was just like, the Wavebird was a bit chunkier. It was wireless, had a big giant batteries section in the back, and it weighed just that right weight. You know what I mean? Where it's not too heavy, not too light, and didn't feel cheap. It lasted me forever. I love that Wavebird, man. And then other than that, of course, I'm old enough to remember the Power Glove for Nintendo.
Jeez.
My hands were too big for that. As a kid, my hands were too big for that. I was a freaking Jotun as a child. Couldn't fit into that, but the Power Glove was good for the 2 seconds I could wear it.
Now, what I do want to say, what is not my least favorite console accessory, and actually turned me off the PlayStation 2 for the PlayStation company for a while, and I went to original Xbox and 360, was when the PlayStation 2, you could only have 2 players unless you bought this thing that you can plug in and get another 2 adapter. Yeah, to get another 2 players. Yeah. And I did not like that. I thought that was distasteful.
You'd offended yourself.
Yeah, like, you want me to pay another $70? Like, first of all, I don't have enough friends for that. Yeah.
Right. Real talk, man.
Yeah, it was always the rich kid that had that in the neighborhood.
Right?
Yeah.
If I had to think of worst accessory for a video game, it was that sucky light screen that you got for the Game Boy. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I've had those.
Light screen, you like slap on top of it and it blurs the screen. And it's like a vanity mirror, but you're for your game.
Mine would magnify
because back then they weren't backlit. Yeah, it broke my eyes. I think I needed glasses after that because that thing was such a piece of crap. Oh, I hated that thing. Man, let's squeeze in one more quick question. If you can get one moment of your memory to put into a video, what memory would that be?
This would be an easy one because it's horror related. It's connected to my time in the hospital where I was off of the morphine and they were giving me Percocet now. And
Percocet.
Yeah.
Molly Percocet.
Yes, from last week. And,
sorry.
And I was getting, with the pain meds, I was getting these crazy nightmares. So don't do it. First of all, there's I'm getting upset. The drugs are making me upset with the nurses. And then I would go to sleep. And then it was just like a sea of people at a concert I was dreaming. And they were like rage-induced yelling at me like they were like on that 24 hours, 28 days later. They had the infection sort of thing. And they were just, like, first like lightly clawing on my skin, but then they were ripping chunks of it off. And I'm going, I don't like this dream. And then it's like, this could be like a Resident Evil scene. So put that into a video.
Yeah, Paul Anderson, still that, you hack.
Yeah.
I'll keep it horror based. When I was a kid, me and my cousins were watching Child's Play over my house. And there's a scene where Chucky throws a woman out the window. And right when that happened, the lights went out. And we all freaked out because we thought Chucky was in the house. And we all just cried and screamed for like an hour. And my parents had to console us and tell us that no, Chucky didn't cut the power. It just was a funny accident. I would love to see that again. That moment was hilarious. Oh man. Anything you're looking forward to this week?
I'm looking forward to I got no plans.
I got nothing. Looking forward to a paycheck. That'd be nice. Buy stuff. Be a consumer. I'm looking forward to Deadpool 2. Kind of. I'm hearing like crazy reviews about that movie. So I'm just going to slide into a morning matinee and watch that and talk about that next week. Other than that, I got nothing. I got nothing going, man. I'm living this life as a nerdiverse combatant and just taking it easy, man. Any passing thoughts before we close this bad boy out?
Keep listening to the show.
Keep listening to the show. Better words were never spoken. And if you are listening to this show and would like to help us out, there's a couple of ways you can do that. Firstly, you can visit our Patreon, which could be found through our website, mastersofthenerdiversecast.com. There you can listen to older episodes, listen to the podcast via SoundCloud, and be able to visit our Patreon, where any little shillelagh or ducat will go towards the show and just make our production level higher. We're trying to upgrade people. We're trying to give you a better product. And that's an easy way to help out. If you want to help out a non-monetary, I can't talk. If you don't want to give us money, that's fine. I appreciate it. You can definitely like, comment, or subscribe on the vertical that you're using to listen to this podcast. May that be iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, iHeartRadio, or Google Play. Love to hear from you. Love some feedback. And we are very quick to talk to our listeners and say, hey, how you doing? I am, of course, your host, Mike G.
And I'm your host, Winter Sturdivant.
We are two hosts, and we got the guns. I'm just going to let that breathe. And we'll always ask you to take that one. I hate that you left me hanging on that, you bastard. Like, I don't have guns.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're on your own there, bro. Oh, man, I rescind all of that. And, of course, we'll always ask you to take that one step beyond.